swear, I hate when people say, if you don't like something, don't watch. Okay. So by your logic, we should fire all of movie critics, right? So if you don't like an episode of Seinfeld, right? Let's say you have your critiques about an episode of Seinfeld, right? So by your logic, I shouldn't watch, right? I have no right to say what's wrong with the goddamn episode, right? By your logic. So by your logic, I don't have a right to criticize my favorite team in the NFL. So I can't say what are the Cowboys doing wrong. So if I don't like how the Cowboys are being run, you are saying I shouldn't watch them? If you don't like how the Cowboys are playing, don't watch them. Wow, that's freaking stupid. So by your logic, everybody is perfect. Every TV show is perfect. Every episode on every show you watch is perfect. By your logic. See, that's how you get blocked by me. When you say, if you don't like it, don't watch. Bro, you can say that about every show on TV. If there was a show of Family Guy that sucked, you would tell me, okay, if you don't like this episode of Family Guy, don't watch. Hold on, bro. They don't have perfect shows every week. I have every right to say which show sucks. Every show, every movie ain't perfect. That's how you make shows better. When you give them constructive criticism, they hear it. If they know their fans don't like it, guess what? They change stuff. They change the direction of the damn show. It's called feedback. Fan feedback is very important. That's just plain stupid. Dude, some people said Creed 3 sucked. So by your logic, you are saying, if you don't like it, don't watch. I'm like, what? Like, what? Dude, it's a damn movie. We all don't have to like the same product. If it sucked, it sucked. It's like, wow, it's like we all have to just shut up and just watch it and enjoy it. What if I'm not enjoying it? I have a right to say I'm not enjoying it. God gave me a mouth, you idiot. Dude, there are tons of examples, right? If I'm watching Chucky, right? You are saying, if I don't like this episode, you're saying, okay, if you don't like it, don't watch. What? So you are saying, if I don't like this episode of Harley Quinn, you are saying, if you don't like it, don't watch. So by your logic, that's saying every show is great and I should just sit back and just enjoy it. That's stupid way of thinking, man. That's why I think some of you are just bots. You people, look, you numbskulls can't be real. You have to be bots. So there was something that really bothered me about watching that segment of the All Elite Wrestling 4 Pillars last week, right? The one thing that I noticed was, I'm like, wow, so this is what Tony Khan thinks of a wrestler should look like. So these are his dream wrestlers. These are his favorites. This is what a wrestler should look like in his eyes. I'm like, wow. None of these guys are over 6 feet. So let that sink in. It's like, wow, it's like he is a vanilla midget lover. I don't get it. Like, look here, man. Size matters, right? But at the same time, man, if you are a wrestling promoter, you need variety. Variety! That's where I'm going. If you are a boss of a wrestling show. You gotta have variety on these shows, bro. All of your 4 pillars cannot look alike. They can't be the same height. They can't be the same size, man. You gotta have variety. All of your 4 pillars can't be cruiserweights, man. That's called a agenda. That's called favoritism. And like, look, don't get it twisted. He has multiple pillars. He has Wheeler, useless. He has OC. Multiple pillars in that company that are his size. Remember, look, let this sink in. Tony Khan dressed up as Orange Cassidy for freaking Halloween. That's called favoritism, bro. Favoritism. Look here, man, there's tons of kids that were not even born during the 90s who watch my channel, right? Hold up. Randy Orton made you kids fans of wrestling. Cena made you kids fans of wrestling. Brock made you kids fans of wrestling. Dave made you kids fans of wrestling, right? But you kids are the main people that be telling me size don't matter. Hold on, size does matter. Orton made you a fan of wrestling. He is 6'5", 250, lean, jack, swole. He made you a fan of wrestling. Brock is 6'3", 290. He made you a fan of wrestling based on how he looked. Cena, he weighs 250, buff, jacked up. It's weird, like, it's the huge hypocrisy. The same idiots that tell you size don't matter are the same idiots who look up to Orton, Cena, and Brock and Dave. Do you know how many fans Dave Bautista created on SmackDown? Him, Orton, Brock, they made tons of fans based on how they looked, based on how they were booked on the show. They were booked larger than life, right? So don't tell me size don't matter. Their size made you fans of wrestling. There's no way. If Orton was like 5'8", would he be where he's at? No. So by that logic, you wouldn't be a fan. Dude, Hulk Hogan made me a fan of wrestling. He was what? Tall and big, 6'7", over 300 pounds. The only reason he got pushed because of his size. So by that logic, his size made me a fan of wrestling. Because his size made me a fan of professional wrestling. Hogan was larger than life. Size matters in pro wrestling. Dog, what new fans is Max making? What new fans is Jungle Boy making? What new fans is Sammy G making? No fans. Look, man, those 4 pillars will be all elite wrestling's downfall. Because that's what Khan looks for in a professional wrestler. He likes small men. Facts. It's not about the booking. He likes small men. Look at Wardlow, right? Wardlow should be your pillar. Hobbs should be your pillar. If you were to put Wardlow on a poster to sell your product, who would you want? Him or Jungle Boy? You want Wardlow. He looks like a star. I hate when people say, what's so special about Hobbs and Wardlow? It's like, bro, You can't see it because they are booked like jokes. If you are presented on TV as a special big deal, of course, people say you are good, you are great, based on your booking. But if you are booked like a loser, if you are booked like a damn numbskull, of course you will say, what's so special about it? Okay, thank Tony Khan for that, dumbass. Dude, Wardlow was hot. Wardlow was super hot when he was with Max. Remember that feud last summer? I said, make Wardlow a world champion. I said, he's not going to be any more hotter. Make him a world champion. Look where he's at now. He's nowhere near that level. He's nowhere near it. Remember, Max put him over, right? Last summer. He was over. Wardlow was over at first. I said, make him a goddamn world champion. Strike while the iron is hot. I got videos about it. Listen, when somebody's that hot, you have to strike while the iron is hot. You gotta ride that wave. I don't care. This is wrestling, where these marks have a low attention span. You gotta ride the wave while the wave is hot. And now Wardlow is dead. Right? So, look, how come we always got a problem with how the way Tony Khan books big guys, right? Right? We never have an issue with how the way he books Jack Perry. We never have an issue on how the way he books freaking OC. We never have an issue with how the way he books Sammy G. But, dude, every year, we always have an issue with how the way he books Hobbs, Wardlow, Miro, freaking Big Cass now, Brian Cage. Why do we have an issue with how the way he books big guys? We never have issue with how the way he books small men. Like, dude, for the past 3 years, I've never had a beef with how the way Tony Khan books his small men, because they always win. So what is there to bitch about if they are always winning? Dude, that promo that Jack Perry cut last week, that was a bad promo, right? It was like, oh, woe is me. Max, you get everything. I'm like, hold on, Jack. Hold on, Jack Perry. Let me tell you a fun fact about Jack Perry. Jack Perry holds the record for the most wins in all Elite Wrestling history. Dog, one more time. Jack Perry holds the record for the most wins in all Elite Wrestling history. So why are you bitching? Oh, Max never goes on Dark. Oh, Max never goes on Rampage. Yeah, but you got more wins than him, and you still have no titles. So whose fault is that? Dude, I had to break down that segment. That segment was very overrated, man, because all four guys were crying about their spots in that company. I'm like, hold on, bruh. You four guys are the most highly pushed guys in that company. Hold on. There was four guys in that ring crying about the strong push that Max has gotten. I'm like, dog, all four of you guys are the most highly pushed guys in that brand. So what is there to complain about? All four of you guys are favorites of Tony Khan. But look, there's only two guys in that whole ring who got upside, and that's Darby Allin and Max. And I hate when people say, man, what's so special about Wardlow? Dude, what's so special about Jungle Boy? Like, bruh, every time I say that, nobody answers me. That's why I'm like, bruh, you gotta be bots. Just answer me. If Wardlow ain't special, What the hell is Jack Perry? What the hell is Sammy G? You're saying Sammy G has more upside than Hobbs? That's insane. Listen, a lot of people like to live in a moment. They don't like to go back to the past. So let's try to go back to the past. Let's say Vince decided that his 4 top guys was going to be Jamie Noble, Shane Helms, Jeff Hardy, and Rey Mysterio. Dude, let's say those were his 4 pillars of his company. Where would we be at now if those were his top guys and it was not Cena, not Orton, not Brock, not Dave? Let's say Vince made those 4 guys mid-card guys. Now you see where I'm going with this? Now you see the comparison that I'm making. Huh? What if John Cena was a mid-card guy? What if John Cena was putting over Jamie Noble? What if Dave, Brock, Orton was mid-card guys and not main eventers? What if Noble, Shane Helms, Rey, Jeff Hardy, what if those 4 guys were top guys, multiple time world champions? What if those 4 guys were pushed like top dogs? Where would we be at now? Huh? There's no way in hell you would be fans. Of course not. I don't care how good those 4 guys are. They are not top guys you freaking build around a damn company. That's like saying, what if Eric Bischoff wanted to build around Chris Jericho, Eddie G, Dean, Ray during 1998? What if those were his 4 top guys that he wants to build around? Huh? Dude, they would have lost the Monday Night War a long time ago. If those were his 4 top guys, Jericho, Hoovy, Ray, Dean, what if those were Eric Bischoff's top guys he was building around for the damn future? Really? Dog, there was Nash, Hall, Goldberg, Hogan, Savage, freaking on Diamond Dallas Page. You had top guys who were draws. You had freaking Booker T. You had Sid Vicious. What if those guys were freaking jobbers? Dean and freaking Eddie G. Listen, I don't care what they became later on. Okay? By that logic, thank Vince McMahon for making Eddie G a Hall of Famer. Because when he was in WCW, he was a mid-card jobber. Facts on facts. When Chris Jericho was in WCW, he was a mid-card guy. He was a mid-card, low-key job guy. So you better thank Vince McMahon for saving Chris Jericho's career. Facts on facts. All you numbskulls who hate Vince, dog. Vince made Eddie G a star. He made Chris Jericho a damn star. But at the end of the day, what if Eric Bischoff made 4 small men his top guys? So I'm saying, dude, looks matter, size matters when it comes to professional wrestling. Nobody wants to see guys who look like you. That's like corny, okay? Why don't you be a wrestler then? Seriously. Why the hell would you want guys who freaking have the same body as you? But look, there's no variety when it comes to the all elite wrestling 4 pillars, right? There's no variety. How can all 4 of your top guys, all of them are the same height? All of them are under 6 feet tall? That's dumb. Dude, let this sink in. Max is the biggest guy in that ring. Dude, he was the biggest guy in the damn ring. Let that sink in. Max is what, 5'10"? Max has the most muscle out of all three guys. He's 5'10"? That's not good. Like I said, that's called favoritism. Nobody does that. Look back at freaking TNA. They had 4 top guys. They had AJ. They had Sting, Jarrett. They had Rude. They had Chris Daniels. They had freaking Abyss. They had multiple cornerstones for that company. They were all different shapes and sizes. They had variety. Raw had variety back in the late 90s. They had Kane, H, Rock. They had Shawn Michaels. They had Val. It was like just a tons of guys that did not look like one another. You gotta have variety. All 4 of your freaking pillars can't be the same size, same height, same size. How are you going to grow your brand? How can those 4 guys carry your show when they look alike when it comes to size and height? Now, I'm not burying Darby Allin. Darby has huge upside. I think Darby can be the next Ray. I think Max can be the next Chris Jericho. But those 2 guys, Sammy and Jack, nah, bro. No. Why are those guys your 4 pillars? Jack and Sammy? Dog, that's called favoritism. That means you like small men. Sammy and Jack, they have no upside. They have no bright future. I can't see Triple H wanting those 2 guys. That's what I mean. There's no variety. How can Wardlow not be your pillar? It's like Wardlow would have made that segment look credible. Or Hobbs. But no. You got all 4 guys are the same height. Like 5'10", 5'8". Same height, same size. Those guys, you want those guys to compete with Roman Reigns, Cody, who else? Braun freaking Breaker. You want those guys to compete with freaking Austin Theory? You want those guys to compete with Montez Ford? It's like, bruh, I would take Angel Garza over Sammy G. It's like, that's the problem. When it comes to all elite wrestling, they have no solid counterparts. Who is their Braun Breaker? Who is their Carmelo Hayes? Huh? Who is their Austin Theory? Who is their Montez Ford? Right? Who is their Gunther the Ring General? Who is their Butch? Who is their Von Wagner? Bruh, I could go on and on. Who was their Trick Williams? Who was their Creed Brothers? Who was their Pretty Deadly? See what I'm saying? Now you get it. Raw and SmackDown, they got a bright future. Just watch NXT. Right? Who was their Sami Zayn? Who was their Kevin Owens? Who was their Brock? Who was their Bobby Lashley? See what I'm saying? There's so many guys on that roster who are very interchangeable, who look alike. Why is Wheeler Useless better booked than Wardlow? Why is Daniel Garcia better booked than Hobbs? Like, that's called a small man agenda. That's what I mean by his 4 pillars will kill that company, because that's what he wants his top guys to look like. A bunch of 5'8", 5'10" guys. That's wild. Just compare those 4 pillars to the OVW pillars. Cena, Brock, Orton, Dave. See what I'm saying? Those 4 guys made you fans of wrestling for a whole decade. There's no way in hell Max, Sammy, and Jack Perry will make new fans of wrestling. That's why are those 4 guys your 4 pillars? Alright, these who should be the all elite wrestling 4 pillars. Hobbs, Wardlow, Max, and Darby Allin. Know why? All 4 guys don't look alike. That's the point. All those 4 guys don't look alike. All 4 guys are different. Different. Sammy G and Jack Perry, they are very interchangeable. That's what I mean. It's like, you might as well put OC in that group. He's a pillar without being called that. Dude, I still can't get over the fact that he beat Big Cass clean. I can't get over the fact that Jack Perry beat Brian Cage clean twice in a row. That's wild. That's insane. And your ass got Jack Perry crying to Max, saying, Max, you don't go on Dark. You don't go on Rampage. I've been grinding for the past 3 years. Like, bruh, you got the most wins in history. How are you crying, right? Tony Khan bought rights to your theme song. That's a big deal. Khan bought the rights to OC's theme song. Dude, Tony Khan loves small men. Listen, just imagine Paul Heyman saying, my ECW 4 pillars was Kid Cash, Jerry Lynn, Spike Dudley, and Chris Candido. Seriously. Just imagine if he was trying to build his whole brand around those 4 guys. Are you insane? Right? I don't get it. How come nobody holds Tony Khan's feet to the fire about those 4 tiny men are his 4 pillars? Guys were not 6 feet tall. Dude, if that don't scream little man favoritism, I don't know what does then. Lance Archer can be a pillar. He was there since day 1, the first year, right? I don't get it. There's a lot of big guys on that roster who should be your pillar. Roosh could be a pillar. Miro. It's like your 4 pillars don't look credible because they look alike. If you were to add a Hobbs or a Wardlow to that group, then they look credible. Because then all 4 guys don't look alike. They look different. All of them got their own special traits. But at the moment, you can't see what makes Hobbs special. You can't see what makes Wardlow special based on both guys are booked like jokes. It's like Tony Khan is a big guy bully. That's what he is. He's a big guy bully. I don't get it. Does he know what he has? It's like he's trying to do the opposite of what Vince McMahon did. But you have to view it this way. This notion that Vince only liked big men, that's a bold-faced lie. By that logic, how come Mason Ryan wasn't a world champion? How come Wade Barrett was not a world champion? How come Lex Luger was not a world champion? How come Chris Masters was not a world champion? So this notion of him liking only big guys, dog, what about EC3? What about Keith Lee? It's like this notion, oh, Vince likes big dudes. No, he does not. He likes guys with charisma. So Why was CM Punk a multiple-time world champion? I need answers, Sway. It's like Shawn Michaels, Bret Hart, freaking Rob Van Dam. Tons of guys who are not big guys were world champions and were pushed. It's like, that's a lie, man. Vince does not only like big guys. That's ridiculous. Seth Rollins, he ain't that big. How about AJ Styles? Not that big. Finn Balor, not that big. How about DB? Not big. Chris Jericho, not that big, bro. So where's your proof that Vince only likes big men? How about Ray? Ray was a world champion. That's what I say. Like, that's a bold-faced lie. Ric Flair was not that big. He was a world champion. Dude, what about The Miz and Kofi Kingston? Both those guys are not that big. But yet, Vince McMahon made them world champions. Which means Vince doesn't have an agenda against small men. What about Kofi? How about The Miz? How about Daniel Bryan? Dude, look at CM Punk. He might have the worst body of all time for a pro wrestler. And yet Vince gave him a strong push. So, compared to Tony Khan, Khan has an agenda. There's no proof of him pushing big men. But there's proof of Vince McMahon pushing small men. How about Chris Benoit? He was like, what, 5'8", 5'9"? Made him a world champion. So I need facts. I need evidence. Where's Tony Khan's evidence of him pushing big guys over small men? How about Dean Ambrose, Jeff Hardy? All were former world champions under Vince. So there is a huge argument that there's not a lot of bodybuilders that Vince made world champion. That's the irony that nobody talks about. Vince has not made tons of bodybuilders world champions. These are facts. Go on Google, look at the past world champions. A lot of them were not bodybuilders. So I need facts and evidence to say otherwise. But when it comes to those 4 pillars for all elite wrestling, look, man, there's 2 guys who got upside, and that's Darby and Max. I think Triple H will sign Max and Darby. I think Darby can be the next Rey Mysterio Jr. I think Max can be the next Chris Jericho if H was to sign them. But Sammy and Jack Perry, no. Look, Jack Perry is known for being the son of Luke Perry. That's his only fame, man. That's his only claim to fame. He's the son of a bigger star, Luke Perry. I don't get it. How can your daddy have more charisma than you? Like, I don't get it. It's like your father was an actor. So how come you ain't a good actor? Like, where is your charisma that your dad had? So I'm saying, and you are a cornerstone of this brand? That's what I mean by when it comes to all elite wrestling, they don't have a bright future. Because Khan hates big men. He loves small men who don't draw money. He don't get business. That's bad business when all of your main events are of small men. That's not going to draw eyes. People will view your company as a joke. When it comes to the small man agenda, when it comes to all elite wrestling, that will drive casuals away. Casuals will never take that brand seriously if they keep pushing small men. Dude, don't get me started on Adam Coleslaw. When Adam Coleslaw comes back, he will get a monster push. Dude, he gave Kyle O'Reilly a strong push before he got hurt. Remember? Dude, let that sink in. It's like, wow, Kyle O'Reilly got a shot at the world title and not Wardlow. You see, there is a huge agenda going on. That's it. I'm done.